directly from #1 Bimini Road in beautiful downtown Atlanta, where you might see the jellyfish jamming with the salmon. Come face to face with a mouth named Jaws. Freak out with a mermaid named Rita, and meet Mr. Wiggles the Worm.
Funketeers of America. Tonight is your night to get down just for the funk of it on our voices. Coming at you are the kings of funk, who defined, shaped, and expanded funk music throughout the 70s and have found themselves in the midst of a funk rebirth in the 90s. Meet the funk masters. Meet George Clinton, vocals and leader. Bootsy Collins on bass.
Oh, Bootzilla's here, baby.
Bernie Worrell on keyboard.
Who's that?
And good evening. I'm Bev Smith in the midst of all of this. That's right, guys. That's right. And you can join us in conversation. Do you remember them? We're going to share with you what makes them a living legend, why their music keeps holding on. Our phone lines are open. Why don't you join us? All right, guys. Do you know what? I read that originally you were doo-wop singers. Doo-wop singers?
One of the prettiest tenor voices, high first, second tenor. Used to sing "Be Ever Wonderful."
George, can you sing it? Sing it, George.
Remember "Be Ever Wonderful"?
Oh, come on, baby.
Come on, George. We want to. We can't believe it for one thing. Come on, George. We can't believe it. And the ladies liked it.
Oh, yeah, no, I was cool.
Oh, were you really?
Well, it became a funkadelic.
Oh, I was cool. And then I got
Wait a
no
minute.
love.
Well, that's what I want to know, George. What made you transform?
We had to get paid.
You were not getting paid?
But we still don't get paid.
Oh, come on,
No,
George.
no, we didn't get paid. Yeah, we're going to get paid, but we haven't got paid yet. But back then, it was even harder because you had groups like the Temptations and the Pips. And you had a Maryland, D.C. group, remember the Unifics and all those groups? When we saw them and all of them stepping, we said, well, we better change this thing up now.
And you couldn't keep the uniform.
Oh, yeah, it's right, Come on. We couldn't keep our suits clean, you know, we lost our ties. So funk became a really, nice thing for us. We didn't have to be cool no more.
Define funk. Can you?
And come on, y'all. Anything you needed to be at that time when you're about ready to end your life, that's what funk is.
When you're about ready to end your
You know
life?
when it's like I can't take it no more. Funk is that excuse that gives you
Like
positive to live on.
Let loose.
Yeah, you can hang.
Hang.
For what? And see, our funk is P-funk. We told them funk could take a 3, but we lied. Funk could take 100.
Whatever you got to put on it.
And what
Funk can still be dope.
There's some people.
You hear all these people running around talking about we got some dope rhymes, we got
Yeah.
some dope. Yeah, they got some P-funk in there.
Right.
You just sprinkle
Wait a
some
minute.
P-funk over
They
there and
have
you got
a
some dope
lot of
rhymes.
P-funk in there, don't they?
That's cool,
Bernie,
though.
do you talk? You do talk, Bernie.
I listen a lot.
Okay. Bernie, don't they, the new groups out, have a lot of P-funk in? Don't they have your P-funk in there?
Yes, and it's that's what I think George is saying. We're going to get paid because, for me, speaking for myself, it's frustrating. It's
Painful?
no, not painful. It's like
It makes you angry?
when we don't get what's due to us.
Recognition and or money?
But we have taught, and that's good in itself, positive. But now come on back with
Yeah, the groups of having the money taken from them to pay us, but the record companies aren't giving it up.
Yeah.
It's not about the groups because we're glad that they're sampling and using stuff. But the record companies, unless it's a pop song or a classical song, they forget the writers or the people that sang on it. We're lobbying now for everybody that sang on the record to get paid. Everybody that played on the record to get paid, because it might not be myself or Bootsy or Bernie who was the #1 writers. It might be somebody who sang the part, like Peanut sang all around the world for the funk. And he's unassuming. He ain't gonna never ask nobody for nothing. But I think it's
But
only
you're
fair.
saying because they're using him,
They should.
he ought to be paid for
He should
it.
be paid.
So what do you do when you hear the music? And I mean, it is so clear that it is a funk sound.
No,
And when
nobody hides it.
No one hides it at all. And when
We
you
just wait
see
till
it-
they start paying those real classical and pop people, because that way they'll pay you the top dollar. And then we'll rush in. If we go rushing in last year,
they know
they're
you're
going to pay us
coming?
as R&B.
They must by now.
Oh, yeah, now because they sample everything. They sample classical pieces now. And once you start that, then that sets the standard as to what you should get paid. Once they get paid, then we'll go in.
He sets the standard so it's same as it ever was.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes,
Same as it
same
was.
as it ever was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
No, it
I
has to
think-
be that
can
way.
we,
'Cause if we go in there, James Brown P-Funk, they'll give you an R&B budget.
Right.
Whatever you need. And you're gonna go in hungry, so they're gonna wait.
So you're going to wait till classical sets the trend.
Oh, it's already set. We ain't got to wait no more.
All
No,
right.
we ain't got to wait no more.
Then, after doo-wop, the funk was created. And there were two groups. Why two groups?
Legality. We couldn't use Parliament name. It's got hit, the same old thing. Got tied up in the lawyers.
I worry about Bootsy. He's been pointing to you. Oh, have you
No, we're gonna
noticed
get
that?
there. We're gonna
Bootsy just keeps going like this all
You
night.
know why? It's because, like, George was there at the beginning, and he got the explanation. I mean, we were like...
First 15 years, I guess I was doo-wopping, and then I met Bernie in 62. And then
Boots came in.
by the time you get to 67 and 8, then I'll say...
You
By the time you
pointed
get to
to
the
him.
third group, there was Parliament Funkadelic. That was the two groups because of the legality of the whole situation.
And
So
then
we
it was
lived-
Bootsy's Rubber
Then
Band.
Bootsy's Rubber Band.
But see, also to go along with that, me and Bernie mainly were like musicians. Serious music. George was like, he was more of the mastermind.
You were a serious musician.
Yeah, very serious. Look at him. You know what I'm saying?
I'm only teasing.
And songwriting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but see, that's pretty much, we pretty much looked at George like he had all the answers, and, anybody had something to say, we was like looking at George ourselves, because we was into music.
And you just wanted to play.
We just wanted to play, and we didn't care nothing about no taxes, bill collection. We didn't care nothing about none of that.
But I came from Motown, so I had a little more of the structural thing down, or the concepts down, and I just mixed them all together. James Brown, Bernie was a classical piano player, and we saw the doo-wop wasn't going to happen, so we went psychedelic, funkadelic,
Yeah.
and added his classical
So if you do
training,
mix-
and
mix
that made it
music.
a brand new thing, which
And-
was,
And that's what made the sound so unique. Why did the group break up?
it's not broke up. That's what we're here to say now.
Just separated a little bit, but it's
This
not
went
broke
out-
up.
This has been a mission that we plan ourselves. It's called planned obsolescence. Nothing stay there forever. You go take a break. You do different things. You do different
And
things.
a lot of groups are
Delight.
doing that now.
Yeah.
Comes back
And
around.
now everybody's sampling P-Funk, and together is the chemistry that it takes to get what we did before. So we're doing that again now, but we never went nowhere. It's just that you have to do something different because
You never went anywhere, but there was this perception that you were the funk
Oh.
masters. Everyone listened to you. And what was even more surprising
Everyone
is
still
that you
does.
had...
They still does.
I know. So why do you say you never went anywhere?
we didn't go anywhere. It's just their perception of us gone because they hear samples of us, and we're not around on radio or television. And that's just the
and
way
they don't see you.
Yeah.
So they think you went away.
Yeah, and we're not fighting that anyway because that way it lets them get us out of their mind. Now we're doing our own thing again. Bootsy did it with Delight. Bernie's been playing his own albums and all the Rolling Stones and everybody else in the world. And I've been working with a lot of different people. So now that everybody's sampling a little bit of funk,
New information
now
program.
we come back and compare notes.
So
And
here
it's
we
like
go
a fresh,
again.
It's like a fresh relationship again, because
Bootsy was right out of, excuse me, because y'all
Yeah.
was right out of James Brown when we first met him.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
gave us a James Brown
Oh, yeah,
concept.
sure did.
And see,
yeah.
I think too, with us coming back together like this, it's giving us a whole fresh perspective, like we had when we first
Yeah.
started.
That's
We were
right.
like reaching, we were together so long. I think we kind of got comfortable with each other,
Yeah,
and
well,
we
there's
kind of
nothing else to
knew
do.
the form.
People now sampling just a little bits of the funk,
Yeah.
and it's working. So now it means that it's got to be some fresh funk.
And there are a lot of people that want to talk about fresh funk.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to the show. Hello?
Still looking for the hour show. Well, I'd like to say to your panel, I'd like to know how do they feel about the new groups that are sampling their music and they're not getting paid for the money, but they always tell them that they like what they do, but when it's time for the money to come in, it's like, well, we don't know you and stuff
Well,
like
it's not the group. I don't think it's the group. If it's up to the groups, they're not losing nothing by not paying us because it's not their money in the first place. It's the record companies. Now, I think when they take it from the groups, the record companies should give it to us. So we're not upset at the groups at all. I think that it's taken away from them discovering their own new music. But if they sample it too much, but believe me, I'm happy that
Oh, wait a
they
minute. That's
sample
an
it.
interesting point because what you're saying is that not discovering their own music. You just talked about yourself being professionals, being trained. Do you think sampling hinders these musicians?
A little bit, but like all things, it'll start something new. That's as artsy as anything else now.
Yeah.
For me,
From what we knew, from where we came, it would, but today it's a new thing anyway.
Whole new thing.
So I think it'll be fresh for what they're doing.
to add to that, it'll go to something new, but coming from knowing your roots, knowing how to make a chord, knowing how to build.
Yeah.
You just
So
have
you
to
have
push
to
your
have a
button.
music
If
background.
now, and I don't know what's going to happen later. If all you got to do is push your button,
You'll never
and
learn the
string
roots.
it,
Well, you know what the
I
kids are
mean-
saying as we go to the telephone. That's what they're saying about the concerts now. They're walking out on many of the top named performers because they've lost their soul and they can't sing many.
That's
of
why
them.
you go-
Hello,
they'll
Iowa
do
City,
that.
Iowa. Welcome to the show.
How you doing, Bev?
I'm doing fine.
Good. First of all, I'd like to have a comment to the panelists. First of all, I'd like to say, like the boy said, thank you for the funk and all that. But my question is, when I was young, I remember seeing the Parliament album and the Mothership Connection and all of that. And I was wondering what exactly is the Mothership Connection. I have some ideas myself, but that's something that always fascinated me as a kid. I'd like to know that.
Well, I tell you, the real Mothership Connection is yourself, myself, all of us that can feel that groove. We were born with it. I think we'll die with it. And I don't think it's no color or anything else, but I think everybody has that rhythm. But predominantly, CC is a good place to start from. The Mothership Connection, the notion, Bootsy and I was riding down the street in Toronto, and this is no lie. It came straight out of the sky.
Yeah.
What came out of the sky?
Whatever it was.
Whatever it was came out of the sky, hit the ground twice.
But what was
Oh, wait a minute.
deep?
You saw an unidentified
Believe
flying
it or not,
object?
we never talked about it.
Is this a first on this
What
show?
was so deep was like, you know, I hadn't been with George too long, right? So I looked at him like, you know, this cat fears nothing. You know, he has no fear. You know, and I'm like driving. You know, George is over here. We listening to Johnny Be Good. You know, we checking that out. Chuck Berry, you know, on the radio, and we riding down the street, and it's like, you know, we talking full of rap. You know, full of rap
Just
about
finished the album.
you know, just finished the album. You know, and all of a sudden this light came, and it streaked across the sky. And I looked at George and I
hit
said,
the
well,
ground?
I didn't see that, you know,
Me either.
because I looked at him and
Ain't nothing either.
you know, he didn't say nothing, so I said, well, you know, so we kept riding, and then both of us seen it again. Then I looked at George. George looked at me and he said, step on it.
Wait a minute, guys. Now, in 1978, this is a direct quote. Time magazine said, of Parliament Funkadelic, if Earth, Wind, and Fire is from music at Harvard, then Parliament Funkadelic is party music for the world. The message of unity and pride. Do you think this thing that came down and signaled you carried a message of peace
We
and
didn't
unity?
talk about it for probably 3 to 4 years. We never met. We went to my house from right then. We got to my house. We sat in the car for about 10 minutes. My daughter walked out and said, y'all look like y'all seen a ghost. Okay, we left it at that. We still didn't say anything. I think it was probably 3, 4 years before I probably said something first. And then one day we ride Bootsy just happened to say, hey man, what? I said, don't ask me. We never talked. This is probably the most that we've ever talked about.
But
Because
that
there's no
was the
explanation.
Mothership
There is no
Connection.
explanation.
And what was deep about it is, first the street was crowded with cars,
And then
you
there
know,
was nothing
and when that
there.
happened, it was
It
completely
hit our
dark.
car. It hit the car. It literally
Yeah.
hit the car. The third time it happened, it hit the car.
What did it look like?
Was it
Liquid
glow
light.
liquid. You know?
Like mercury, mercury in a thermometer.
Energy.
It looks like that, but gold, like fire, and ripped off the car. You know, off the side of the hood. I say, do you think you can step on and get it? Okay.
Immediately.
Okay.
Immediately.
Energy source.
And from there, we drove to the Bermuda. We drove to
and
Florida
fish
in the Bermuda Triangle. For way after that, and
Chilled, in other words.
yeah.
Hello, Jackson, Mississippi. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Bev.
Hi.
I love you.
Thank you.
Okay, my question is to the guys. I want to know, how do you keep your popularity decade after decade? Because you guys been out for a while.
And plan to be out for a little while
I
longer.
told you the funk will stand 100. A lot of these people take the funk and just wave it over their music.
It's like in the Chinese, what they do with the chicken.
Yeah, you know, to make chicken soup, you know, just wave it over, just dip it in the water. You got the chicken soup.
Chicken
hang it back
soup,
up there.
that's it.
You can
That's
take a
what
funk
the funk.
record, wave it over your groove. You got some dope music there, and hang it back up there.
What's that line where you
And they
say,
will be hooked for the next 10 years.
what's that line where you say, a lot of people ask, is there funk after death? And you say, is
Is
7 up? That's what you want to tell us.
That's what I mean. It will be here forever.
All right.
It was always here. It'll be here when we leave.
And they'll be here right after these messages on Our Voices Don't Go Away.